Alright, welcome to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer. So, we're just going to focus on this last section, section 4, on how to create effective, how to conduct a research, or how to conduct proper research as a business consulting freelancer, right? So first, I look at to make a quick recap. Well, identify the data is something powerful because it can help you to influence, persuade, or reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. And if you're making or if you're conducting a research, it is important to identify where this data come from and what are the most valuable, especially when you're conducting a consulting, when you're conducting a research for a consulting project. So you have is the first party data that comes from the company, which are the most valuable. Then from trust sources that they have a great record with peer review, research report, and aggregate sources. This is the least valuable because you can't verify is the quality of the data or the author. But it's important to recognize. Then, from a broad perspective, or for the bigger picture, when you conduct a research, first see things from different perspectives, play devil advocates because things are not black and white, gather relevant information as well as taking notes and keep record of every source you obtain, and there qualify the data that you're getting so you ultimately circle back to the client. I also look at particular guidelines on how Paul Mendes, the Zero to Mastery instructor, mentioned and talk about that when you talk about or when he conduct a research on the marketing. So for the TLDR, for that is uh, on a tourist website. When he look at a tourist website and when he wants to conduct a research based on a marketing perspective, so first he look at their website, understanding what they offering, the products and service, and they go into the specific by looking at the category, the, the company's review, the product's review, to understand what makes this company unique, and then, well, gather all the confidential data, which is the first party data, to look what they have done in the past, see how have been, see how they have been performing, and how you can provide your suggestions. So once you do that, then you go to the competitor analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry and see what you can learn from them, what they're doing, and make a keyword research based on this competitor analysis. Which once you do that using some keyword tools out there on the internet, you can know what's going on in that industry. And from there, uh, once you do that, on top of that, look at their worst news to get up to date data and ultimately see how everything that you have researched, what is most likely to work today. And that is including look at their or how this industry is adapting to regulations and where this industry is going. And also I make a quick demo for myself looking at the e-commerce sphere, so understand what an e-commerce is, which it's Amazon mentioned that is the trade and good and service over the internet. Okay, It is your bustling city center or your brick and mortar shop conversing to zeros and one on the superhighway, on the internet superhighway, or something that Shopify mentioned that yes, while e-business refers to operating all aspects of an online business, whether it's marketing, sales, uh, accounting or financing, management process, or operations management, uh, human research or HR, IT, information technologies, customer research, or customer. I'm gonna make a pause here. So, well, e-business, because I don't have any business right now, but what I'm doing is just to build in that. Okay, so I try to make myself familiar with all of this concept. So while an e-business, and also it's not only in theory but also in practice. So Shopify mentioned that while e-business refers to operating all aspects of an online business, like marketing, sales, human research, financing, managing operations, IT, customer service, and research and development, e-commerce refers specifically to the transaction of good and service. So then I look at the actors involved, like the government, consumers, and business, and how they relate each other, such as government to business, or in this case, like the most widely common business model used is business to consumer, such as online retailers like Amazon, Costco, Walmart, subscription service like Netflix, Spotify, uh, digital marketplace like eBay and Etsy, ordering food and all online ordering and food delivery like DoorDash, Grubhub, and online booking and travel, Airbnb, Booking.com, and Expedia. And this is the most widely business model used out there. Okay, the business to consumer. Then I look at the business to business, like online marketplace. So Alibaba, Amazon e-business, eBay business, EDI, this electronic data interchange, uh, which are paperwork that were traditionally made on paper now is done electronically, such as invoice, purchase order, and it is shared within the company or across different companies using these systems. EDI, the electronic data interchange. EBM provide example of that. Online portal, so so very large business want to streamline their supply chains and procurement portals, and like Walmart supply centers or SAP Arriva network, wholesale e-commerce, uh, where now manufacturers and distributors sell their product to business, and business to business payment solutions like PayPal or Stripe. Another example is the consumer to business, where this is right now I am offering my service. So we have is the freelance work, okay? So such as software developer, uh, uh, freelance writing, web designs, user generated content, where now users sell the digital media content like audio, image, video in place like Shutterstock or Audio Jungle from Envato, survey online survey like SurveyMonkey, uh, crowdfunding, so users can raise funds for their own projects and ideas, and reverse auction, Consumers now submit a price quota on a product uh, that a business selling on a product that a business on a product business uh, in this reverse auction, right? So, for example, Priceline is one of them. And also, I look at the government to business, such as public procurement portals, where now a government agency provides online platforms for governments to bid on government contracts like the FBO, the Federal Business Opportunity in the US, or the UK Contract Finder Service in the or on the UK. Well, permit and licensing applications such as food licensing or building permits, international trade and custom clearance, such as electronic custom clearance or export declarations, as well as business registration, such as the SBA on the US, Small Business Administrations, or the UK company, the UK company house company, and also tax filing and payment systems like the electronic federal tax payment system on the US or the HM Custom and Revenue. I also look at another example of the now government to consumers, such as online donations like UNICEF or American Red Cross, licensing and permits such as fishing licensing or permit or hunting permits, uh, payments of fines and fees, ticket traffic tickets, also ordering birth and death certificates, as well as online uh, yeah, I need to have this clear. Okay, so the relationship here that I'm explaining is the consumers to government to consumers, right? Such as payment portals to like the IRS or passport applications and renewal, like the U.S. State Department of State Passport Service in the U.S. or the General Registration Office in the U.K. Driving and vehicle licensing, for example, DMV, this Department Motor Vehicles on the U.S., California, U.S. Or um, yeah, passport renewal, or ordering birth and death certificates, right? Uh, Such as the National Center for Health Statistics on the U.S. Or the the UK General Register Office. And when it comes to now the consumers to government, okay, so you have online petitions such as change.org to influencing the government policies, online donation like the American Red Cross or UNICEF, among others, tax payment or fines and fees, payment of fines and fees, licensing and applications like fishing licensing and hunting permits. So once I know that, okay, uh, this is something important to me to understand that, because then I move to what is the competitive analysis to understand, for example, what are the who the other players are, like Amazon, Etsy, uh, yeah, like Amazon, so Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, and uh, conduct a keyword research. So, for example, from Shopify and Amazon. So, the point of this is once I conduct that research, know how to create a visually engaging presentation, uh, because ultimately the client wants to know how you reach that conclusion, and by showing them graph and statistics and show them the meaningful patterns of that, you can now tell them how you reach that conclusion, and from there provide your suggestions, because after all we are, as humans, process visual information much more faster. There is a study in 2014 from the MIT that the brain process image. That's a very interesting topic as well. Uh, that the brain is here. So MIT Neurosciences in a 2014 study, so find that the brain can identify image scenes for as little as 13 milliseconds. That's a very interesting finding. Uh, but in any case, so once I know how to conduct a research, then it is time to put that in a visually engaging presentation, as I mentioned before. So the series of steps to do that is, well, first, put the most relevant information out there, okay, or put the most valuable. So first, analyze your research and notes. So before you create a report, you must know exactly how the data is going to use that. Okay, you must know exactly how the data is going to be used, and then you put the most valuable data first. Okay, so you put the most valuable data first, and because you don't want the client start to forget what the most important thing was, so showing the most impactful data first, because nobody wants to see the entire presentations only to get the final page with all the good stuff about it. So you need to lay the ground first, show the most impactful thing, or present the most valuable data, and then expand on that with visual reports and different aesthetics. So create a template will help you vastly for that, especially for recurring clients, and visualize the data into graph and chart. Very, very important, because data visualization helps to make more better decisions. Okay, so data visualization helps you to make informed decisions. So because of that, then uh, I'm looking right now at the different graphs and bars that we can use in our report. Okay, All right. So uh, we have bar graph, which the most common use case is for show change over time, compare different category or par as a whole. Okay, this is bar graph. So show change over time, compare different category or par as a whole. While pie chart uh, is to make comparisons par to a whole with discrete data or continuous. And they're most impactful with small data sets. Of course, because the more uh, data you have, or the more variables you want to represent on a pie chart, the less readable it is. Okay, and after all, the whole point of this, uh, by creating this visualization, so by this, okay, so visualize data into graph and data, is because data visualization help us to make more. So data visualizations help us to make informed decision as we have. Help us to make informed decision. Mhm. Yeah, data visualization help us to make more informed. Data visualization help us to make informed decision. So uh, when you want to look at the different graph and how you can use that, so bar graphs are great for show time or so show change over time, compare different part as a whole or different categories. While pie chart, you can compare part to a whole with discrete or continuous data, but they are most impactful for a small data set. Why? Because the more variables you represent on a pie chart, the less readable it is. Then I look at the line graph when you want to see time series relationship with continuous data. So, for example, help you to show trends or volatility as well as acceleration or deceleration. Okay. I also look at area chart, which again is somewhat similar to the line graph, but now it can represent volume, right? So you can show now is three variables here. So all of this data graph are mostly widely used on time series or change to display change over time. Okay. And then I look at scatter plot, which are great to see the sorry. So scatter plots are great to see the relationship of different items on a set of two variables. So for example, they are great to see the correlation in large amount of data, such as uh, customer satisfaction and time to respond, right? You want to see is the relationship of all of these large data points when users, uh, this is to measure is the time to response versus customer satisfaction. Yeah, time to response versus customer satisfaction. Mhm. Yep, yep. Time to response versus customer satisfaction. So this is a scatter plot. So they are great when you want to see the correlation of very large data sets. Okay, when you want to see is how different items, uh, what is the relationship between different items in a two set of variables. So for example, you have customer satisfactions and the time to respond. Okay, this is scatter plot. Then I look at bubble chart, which is a combo mix between an area chart and scatter plots, where now you can make is nominal comparison or ranking relationship. So the sole difference between nominal and ordinal is that nominal data is data or this nominal data. Nominal data is data that can be grouped. First, we need to understand is categorical data. Okay, so data that can be grouped into class. So here you have is nominal data and ordinal data. So nominal data are data that it has an inherent order. Okay, nominal data, it has an inherent order. No, nominal data is data that doesn't have an inherent order, such as the color of your eye, the type of your, the color, the color of your eye, the color of your car, cards, fruits, ethnicity, and ordinal data, data that has an inherent order, such as uh, job seniority, junior, mid, senior, executive, like this. So education level, so high school diploma, associate degrees, bachelor degrees, master degrees, doctorate. So income brackets as well, income brackets, less than 25, 25, less than 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 70, 75, 75 to 100, and more than 100. So income brackets based on as well as the taxes you have to pay. So you have education level, high school diploma, associate degree, bachelor degree, master degree, doctorate, income bracket, less than $25, less than 25K dollar, 25K to 50K, 50K to 75K, 75K to 100K, more than 100K. Job seniority, so entry level, entry level, mid level, senior, or executive level. Okay, job seniority and customer satisfaction. So poor, fair, good, very good, excellent. Health status, so is also somewhat similar. Star rating for a product or service, 1 star, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is talking about categorical data, what it is, and how it is made of. Okay, so what it is and what it is made of. Categorical data. Okay, so I describe is scatter plot, plot, plot that allows to see the correlation and the relationship of different items on a two set of variables, such as customer satisfactions on the g-axis and time to spend or time to respond on the x-axis. Okay, bubble chart, which is a combo mix between the area chart and the scatter plot, where now here it is mostly common use case is to display nominal data that doesn't have an inherent order, all right, like ethnicity, color of your eye, car, fruits. So for example, this is great for showing three set of variables like time to spend on internet, age, and genders. Okay, bubble chart. Okay, so it is useful to show nominal comparison or ranking relationship. And then I look at heat maps. Okay, and then I look at heat maps. So heat maps uh, are common uses to display categorical data. Now I know what is categorical. Now I know what categorical data is. Okay, display categorical data. Okay, data that can be grouped into class. Okay, to display categorical data, whether it's nominal or ordinal. Okay, to display categorical data using intensity of color to represent values of geographical areas or data tables. So for example, we have is geographical areas. You want to look at heat maps, okay, with this intensity of color to display this categorical data. All right. Uh, so they use an example here: highest degrees versus class identification. I can barely see this. Mm, 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 mm. Heat maps, categorical data, heat maps. Mhm. Okay, so uh, just to make a just to keep up to keep looking at the other graphs, geomaps. So geomaps is maps plotting data on a map to show the distribution of data across a region. Okay, so for example, if you want to see different uh, hangars or different retails. Okay, if you're in the e-commerce, you want to see different retails. It allows you to see that. So it allows you to display this data on a region. So this geomap. So geomaps uh, show distribution of a region. For example, retails, retail locations. Tables. The tables is the simplest way to compare, for example, cell by cell representative, where blocks view come from. Yeah, where block view are coming from. Okay, where block views are coming from. Then I look at waterfall charts, show value over time and how various cohort performs over time. So, so waterfall charts show is value over time and performance. Okay. So it can show you value over time and performance. The waterfall chart, according to Data Hero, a startup, Data Hero, marketing agency on San Francisco. Okay, waterfalls, pictogram. Okay, pictograms, which is the simplest way of displaying statistic using icons. Pictograms. And then look at the tools and resources that leverage your report. So like Microsoft Excel, Statista, Google Trends, Canva, Google Charts and Google Sheets, CRM Analytics, and make it easy to follow and see how others formulate data. So, alright. So with that, that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.